Welcome everyone to another Nerdtooine prediction episode here live on Junkie. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a really good day. Tonight we are going to have another premium live event from the WWE streaming live on Peacock, and I've already done a prediction episode with my good friends over the Nerd Initiative, so that is available as of right now. There was 3 of us on that panel. That has been available since noon. Go check that out on the Nerd Initiative YouTube page because we had a great chat on there. I'm going to be keeping very similar picks as I did on that preview episode. Sorry, my hair is just luxurious today. I didn't feel like putting it up. Yeah, we are on the cusp. It's gonna be on just a few hours. You know, this is my kind of my thing now as I come on Junkie and I have my little prediction podcast episodes, and here we are. So we're gonna be talking about all things Fastlane. I want to first get into a couple things real quick about the pay-per-view or premium live event that we have going on here. We had a nice little discourse on the Nerd Initiative page about, you know, how the different premium live events seem to have different thought processes, because, you know, with the pay-per-view, the stuff for all of the AEW stuff, you know, that is a long pay-per-view. They usually do a good 10 matches, where WWE has gone the route of having just about 5, usually 5 or 6. You know, these, I think when you're on a streaming service, you have that luxury because you're not paying extra to watch it. If you're already subscribed to, you know, Peacock, you get to watch it as part of the service. So, you know, for me, I think that WWE is definitely doing what they need to do in this scenario. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of all things wrestling. I think that the best thing that we have right now is the fact that there's both WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA, all these great wrestling companies that are putting on great product right now, and it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. Hey, Alex, I appreciate you sharing the stream. So there's 2 thought process. You know, if you're gonna charge them $50 like AEW has to at this time, because, you know, at this time they don't have a streaming platform. That's supposedly going to be changing very soon. From what I'm hearing, they're going to be jumping onto Max very soon. So that's, you know, we'll see if that changes. But right now, I'm really loving the difference. I like how there is long, drawn-out pay-per-views for the AEW, because it, you know, it gives you bang for the buck. You know, when it comes to the WWE, you got, like I said, they're already paying for the service, so they're just gonna, people can literally just hop on and just watch. You're not gonna put these giant long matches on for them. You know, so it's you know, there is no right or wrong in this scenario, but I'm really looking forward to this pay-per-view. Fastlane is a very, you know, it was a small pay-per-view at one time. They actually decided, you know, recently to bring it back. Like, they killed it last year. It was not on last year, you know. So here we are with Fastlane. We got it's a small but mighty card. There is not a lot of matches on here, so this won't be too long of an episode. But as you can see above my head, there we go. There we go. That is my current record. I am 4-2 in predictions here on Junkie. I was 4-2 on the NXT No Mercy premium live event. So I'm gonna keep the record. I'm gonna see how good I can do moving forward, because I'm gonna do this for all the premium live pay-per-views as well as pay-per-views for AEW, because, you know, it's kind of the thing I do. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for joining me, and if you like comics, if you like wrestling, if you like, you know, pretty much all forms of entertainment, you're gonna want to give me a follow, because I'm pretty awesome and I do great shows. But let's go first up. I don't have them in order because they haven't really released, to my knowledge at least, which is coming first, so I'm just gonna go down my list. First one we're gonna talk about is the last man standing match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins. Monday Night Rollins. Awesome. I like to hear that, Alex. This match, I think, is going to be one of the best matches of the card. No questions asked, hands down and sideways. These two have been telling one of the most compelling stories in the WWE. They do not have, and they haven't been given, like the proper due, I think, because everything's it's Cody Rhodes, it's the Bloodline, it's Judgment Day. But what about Seth and Nakamura? Nakamura has basically turned himself into a freaking anime villain, and it's been absolutely glorious. I can't say enough how great this storytelling has been, and I really think that part of the issue here is that they don't know what they want to do with this title. Because for me, I think if the WWE is far too concerned with length of title reign versus like just regular, great title reigns. Like, you can make the case that Gunther's Intercontinental reign at this point has definitely surpassed Roman Reigns' run. Roman Reigns hasn't wrestled in almost 3 months. He's defended the title once this entire year. So when you just keep adding on these days, if he's not defending it, do those really matter? Do those extra days is that really important? Does it make it a greater run? I don't think so. I know that's, some people might. And I think the reason why I'm making this prediction tonight, and I hate making it, is because they're just concerned with length of run, and I think they're going to keep this belt on Seth, and I really don't want it. I love Seth Rollins. He is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He is so good in the ring, on the mic. Just everything about him is just absolutely phenomenal. But Shinsuke Nakamura was one of the most hyped-up signings in the WWE history, and then they kind of just didn't do anything with him. He's had, a couple championships here and there. He's won the Royal Rumble. I get that. He's had some bright moments. But this is a guy that can carry a show. If you want to put the belt on Shinsuke, he can carry it. Shinsuke Nakamura is an amazing talent, both in-ring and as a character. And I love the fact that he just stopped. He just I'm not going to speak English anymore. I'm just going to be an anime villain. Guess what? It's working. And Shinsuke Nakamura absolutely should win this title. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get a failed cash-in, which leads to Rollins retaining the belt. I think Priest is going to come out. He's going to try to take out Nakamura after Nakamura hits a Kinshasa. And then, before he can get the pin, here comes Nakamura to take out Priest, which leads to a sneaky win by Seth Rollins. I won't be mad at it. And this is one of the predictions I'm making that I hope I'm wrong. Because for the story's sake, Nakamura is the better pick here. I just think the WWE is way too focused on length of title run versus the quality of title run. And Rollins has had a great run. I mean, he's gone into pay-per-views where, like, the premium live events, there's no way he's coming out champion, and he still does. And believably so. It's not like he, sometimes they try to make people so undeniably, undefeatable that they struggle to become credible. Every single time Rollins has won his title and kept this run going, it's been like, yeah, I could see that. He snuck out. He just barely got out of there. And I'll say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with my whole chest. If there is no cash-in tonight, no cash-in on after a last man standing match, then the Money in the Bank championship, Money in the Bank briefcase means absolutely nothing. And it's lost all credibility. Because, as I've stated many times, I love wrestling. And wrestling is very much a performance art. And it's all scripted. We all know this. So, to not have him, use the cash in only makes sense for the script reasons. Because the one thing, and I say this all the time about wrestling, what makes wrestling so amazing is that we all know it's not real, but there are times where they tell a story so good and the matches are so good that we forget. We forget momentarily. We can go, oh my God, and you actually feel in the moment. No other property does that. Like, you go into a Marvel movie, you're going into a Marvel movie. It's not like, I'm walk out of Endgame like, no one was snapped away or back, so this movie is horrible. I don't know how you can watch a movie that has superheroes because they're not real. They're not real, right? Do you see why? Like, that argument is so invalid. And the point I make is that unlike other entertainment, wrestling, we know it isn't real, but they make us forget because it's so good. Yeah, Alex says, you ain't lying. Remember every time Ultimate Warrior came out, everyone went crazy? Yes. I mean, I wasn't alive when he was, at his peak, but I've seen the footage. Dude, I mean, when he hits that ring, the ropes and starts doing his hype up, it's another level. Or like when Cody Rhodes comes out and his whoa hits in his song. Or when The Rock showed up and they blew off the freaking the Denver wherever Coliseum, whatever they were, where they almost blew the roof off. 150 million views in like an hour. Like these things, like, we know that they are scripted, and we still love them. But that's my little rant on that. But this case, unfortunately, I gotta go with Seth Rollins. I want Shinsuke to win so bad. Like I said, he's one of my favorites. I love like the whole strong style, even though it doesn't play as well in WWE because the limitations, and I think AEW is going to start to have more and more limitations moving forward because there's too many people are getting concussions. I mean, John Mox got a concussion on a pay-per-view, not even a pay-per-view. I mean, it was at Wrestle. No, All In. He got a concussion, and then Sammy Guevara. He also just got a concussion. I mean, it's definitely entertaining, but it's risky, So I will say this: if Shinsuke loses here, I hope he does not renew his contract, and I hope he goes to AEW. Or I mean, granted, if he wants to go to back to New Japan or whatever, anywhere else that will allow him to be the main event star he should be, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because he's so talented that whether he should have a belt, maybe or maybe not, you can make that case that he's not on the level like worldwide, appeal as say a Seth Rollins or say an LA Knight or Roman Reigns, but he is definitely in the main event scene. They have left him in the mid-card ever since he lost to AJ Styles. And I'm not okay with that. And I'm glad they put him back into the main event for this run he's got with Seth Rollins. And I think they need to reward him with the championship. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that this is one of the ones I pick wrong because I want Shinsuke to win. I just don't think that WWE is going to do it with the way that they have been clearly showing to care more about longer runs rather than, great stories in the run or a great run in terms of matches. So I'm going to have to go Seth Rollins here, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong. All right, let's moving right along. This one. So we've got a tag team match between the Bloodline and John Cena and LA Knight. Yeah. I am looking forward to this match. I think this match has a sneaky little chance to be the match of the night. I don't think it will be, but it's definitely up there because this dynamic here with the Bloodline as it stands right now without Roman Reigns in the building and having the, as they're calling him, the greatest of all time, John Cena pairing up with LA Knight, who many people, including Paul Heyman on the show, are starting to see him as a huge main event player, and I think he deserves it. I mean, there isn't anyone on this planet that I think can make Knight look bad on a promo. He can look, you can have a great promo where it's, both back and forth, but no one is going to make him look bad on the mic. Simple as that. And his work in the ring is also top notch. So he has everything you need to be a main event player. And according to the rumors, he's probably going to get a chance at Roman Reigns. Probably not on this pay-per-view, but the next one. Obviously not Fastlane, but the one after is going to be Crown Jewel, then Survivor Series. I think he'll get it. I honestly think he's going to get a title shot at Survivor Series. But we'll see about that. Now, this match, the convention says that the babyfaces are going to win this match. And that's going to be my pick. I think John Cena and LA Knight are gonna win, and they're going to make both of them look amazing. Actually, everyone in this match is going to look amazing except for Jim Uso. I say Jim because he wants to be called Jim now instead of Jimmy. But Jim Uso is the only one that's going to come out of this match not looking good, in my opinion. I think that the only way that John Cena and LA Knight don't come out with a victory is if they bring back Roman Reigns for this match. As in, it looks like the babyfaces are going to win. John Cena is about to hit him with the AA, and then out from the crowd comes Roman Reigns, hits him with a spear, and starts going, "Oh, you're the greatest of all time? Nah, I'm the greatest of all time," which will set up their match at Crown Jewel. So either way, this match is going to be fire. I don't care. This is another one of those matches that I almost kind of hope I'm wrong, because I would rather it be the Bloodline with the assist of Roman Reigns. I think that's a great story. It'll push the LA Knight and the Bloodline feud. It will create a Cena Roman feud that could be done at Crown Jewel, which I would like to see. I definitely think that it could be a very interesting match, but we're gonna go with the baby faces here, John Cena and LA Knight. My records might get shot after this pay-per-view, but good thing I'm gonna keep doing them, so I'll have the very small sample size of 2 pay-per-views. But definitely I'm gonna have to go John Cena and LA Knight. I hope that I'm gonna be going, dummy, yeah, you should have picked the Bloodline, and because right now it's clear that AEW has kind of butt their nose in, and the new ownership of WWE is not like Vince, who just doesn't care. They want to make a statement, and I think having Roman show up unannounced would send a message. Like, you need to watch every last one of our shows, because you never know what's going to happen. Because if Roman Reigns shows up, everyone's going to tune in the second TikTok and Twitter, X, what do you want to call it, blows up. Roman Reigns is here. Roman Reigns at Fastlane. So I don't know. I definitely think that unless Roman shows up, it's going to be Cena and Knight, and that's not even up for debate in that thought. All right, next up, we have a 6-man tag team match between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits going up against the LWO with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar and a mystery guest. Because if you didn't watch SmackDown, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they kind of destroyed Wilde and what's his name? Joaquin Wilde and I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. But it was the other members of the LWO, and they just knocked him out. Because they were like, oh, it's going to be one of those 2 guys. We don't know which one. And they both got injured kayfabe injuries that make them out of the running for this match. So then Ray goes, hold on, let me make a call. There is only one person that makes sense here, and if you're not cool, you might not like him, because he spits in the face of the people who aren't cool. Carlito! I think it's Carlito. It has to be Carlito. There is only two other possible explanations. One I think is ridiculously out there and should not even be considered legitimate, but I'm going to say it anyways. CM Punk. I mean, I would hate that because I don't personally like CM Punk. I don't think he's as good as everyone, a lot of times says he is. I think he is a very good talker, and, he's done a lot for the business, and good for him, but I don't like it. The other one is Bad Bunny. The only possible choices are those three, in my opinion. And I personally hope it's Carlito. Because what I want to happen is I want Carlito to start working on Santos Escobar. Start being like, hey, man, you should be United States champion. Maybe you should get yourself a rematch for Rey. I think Carlito is going to come in and try to push Rey Mysterio out of the LWO, which would be very fun and interesting. So, this one can go either way. But I think that if it's Carlito, which I'm pretty sure it is, they're going to win. Now, I don't know how I feel about it, but the one other thing that could happen, we didn't even talk about this on Nerd Initiative, what if Jade Cargill is already part of this new Street Profit kind of new regime, and she comes out and takes out Selena Vega and helps the Bobby Lashley team win? That would be freaking amazing. I mean, one of Jade Cargill's finishers is a chokeslam. Could you imagine if she just comes out of the crowd, chokeslams Selena Vega, and then Ray turns on, oh, what's going on? Oh no. And then boom, you get a spear from Bobby Lashley. I think that would be a very good way to end it. But I mean, man, what's up, NK's Comics? You know what? I can't. I just can't go against. Oh man, this is tough. Whew. How you doing, my friend? I'm glad to see you, man. Yeah, I'm in my predictions here. This is a tough one for me. I think I'm gonna go LWO. I'm realizing I'm going very babyface heavy on my predictions, and I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see with the way the matches turn out later in the night. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna get Carlito. He's gonna join the team, and they're going to beat Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and I think they're gonna blame Dawkins because the way they've set this whole thing up is they have this. You have to be a killer mentality, right? And Dawkins, time and time again so far, has shown that he's not really ready to just be ruthless. So I think it's going to be an issue with Dawkins, and Dawkins might cost him the match. So I'm going to go with the LWO here and Rey Mysterio. I'll even go out on a limb. If they do win, it's going to be on a combination finisher. It'll be a 619, the Santos Splash, and then he's going to get up and get an apple spit in his face by Carlito. Because I spit in the face of people who are not cool. And he's going to say, Bobby Lashley, you are not cool. Ant-Man's Toy Box, welcome in. We're doing Fastlane predictions for the next WWE Premium Live event that'll happen later today. But let's move right along here. Next up, I think this might be the match of the night. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair and Io Sky in a triple threat women's championship match. This right here, I think, is going to be the start of the end of Damage Control. They were going to do this, I think, about 2 months ago, but then Dakota Kai got injured, so they didn't want to keep that. They didn't want to break them up while Dakota was injured. But this match was sanctioned by Bayley to the chagrin of Io Sky. And in that alone, I feel like she's going to lose the belt. But at the same time, she's in there with Asuka and Charlotte Flair. two of the most and undeniably greatest women wrestlers of this and any generation. I am going to go out on a limb, just like I did on the Nerd Initiative page. I'm going to stick with my pick. I think Asuka wins, and she takes the title with her to NXT on Tuesday, and they have a WWE Women's Championship match between Asuka and Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne wins because of interference from Kairi Sane. I don't think Kairi's going to show up on Fastlane. I think they're going to save that reveal for NXT when they're trying to go head-to-head with Dynamite's Title Tuesday. So how do you compete with Title Tuesday besides super loading with all your superstars like they've already done? How about you add another title shot on there? Another championship match. That's why I'm picking Asuka to win here. I think Asuka's going to take it and then lose the belt, unfortunately, to Roxanne Perez, which speed tracks Roxanne's flight to the main roster. And it's only going to be because of the Kairi Sane. And I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to get a match between Kairi Sane, Asuka. She may not lose the title to Roxanne. I mean, she might just make her look really good, kind of like what Becky's been doing with Tiffany Stratton. Because think about this triple threat: Io Sky versus Asuka versus Kairi Sane. That is the soapbox dream match I want more than anything. So that's why I'm going to go with these picks. I'm going to go with Asuka getting the title back and Kairi Sane returning at NXT and messing up with Asuka and basically saying, I'm coming for this title. I honestly am not like most Charlotte Flair haters. I think she's incredibly good in the ring. She's incredibly good on the mic. She's just everything you want as a champion. I think she's on the wrong show. She needs to be moved to Raw. Because you put her in a feud with any of them. With Becky Lynch when she comes back up. When you got Rhea Ripley. But I think that she would be better served on Raw because there's just not enough, talent to go up against Rhea right now. I mean, you can talk about Nia Jax. I mean, Jade Cargill, of course. But I think that she would be better served on Raw than she is on SmackDown. Because I feel like the women on SmackDown, nobody wants to see Charlotte beat any of the women on SmackDown. But there are women on Raw that are quote-unquote unbeatable that you put her up against and they beat her or she beats them. It's a huge match. Either way, whether it's a victory for Charlotte or a victory for the challenger, I think that's just a match that will build up so much more on Raw, so much more talent on Raw than it can on SmackDown. I think a lot of the SmackDown female stars are already established. You don't need to prop them up. They just need to put on good matches. And WWE needs to book them correctly. So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm going with Asuka. My record's gonna be shit after this pay-per-view probably. Sad, but it's okay. It'll only be my second one here on Junkie, so small sample size. I'll be okay. I did 4-2 last pay-per-view. I am surprised. I should have been really 5-1, but the fact they put Baron Corbin over Braun Breaker made no sense. So the fact they did that is one of the ones I got wrong. But yeah, I gotta go with Asuka. No one's ready for Asuka, and a part of another reason too, man. And the Nerd Initiative boys, when we were talking about it, had a great idea. Have Jade Cargill at ringside for this and have a stare down with each one of these women here. 3 of the greatest of all time and 3 of the greatest right now. Oh yeah, think about just the look that Charlotte and Jade Cargill, that face off. Oh, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Do it. Jade Cargill is what throws a lot of these predictions out of whack, because I can see a way that WWE use her in almost every single match. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go Asuka here. Yeah, you're probably going to be wrong. But we'll see. All right, so the last match on the card, ladies and gentlemen, that I have on the card, I think this might actually be the opener. I hope that the World Championship is at the end, but I can see them, because it's the last man standing, having it somewhere in the middle. But this is my match of the night, more than likely. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I think this one, they're going to over-deliver so much because of who's in it. You've got Jey Uso. Sorry. Hold on. We have main event Jey Uso and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus the Judgment Day for the undisputed Tag Team Championship. I don't want this match to happen. Only one reason. Because I want them both to win. This is one of those matches that on paper it's too good, and I don't want there to be a winner. And there may be a no decision here. That might be, or a disqualification. Because, I don't know, again, if you didn't see SmackDown, the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, they form in a little partnership. Mommy said acknowledge her, and I don't know what happened there, but we've got Roman approving this new matchup made in hell between the Judgment Day and the Bloodline. So this, I think it's guaranteed that either it's a no decision disqualification or something along those lines, or the Judgment Day wins. I don't see any scenario where we actually have a Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso unified tag team champions. The only, and I mean the only way that happens is if they win it so that they can split up the titles. Because it's absolutely ridiculous that there are a unified tag team championships. And the one thing about me, the unified tag team championships, why? Why are there unified tag champions match? It makes no sense in this era that we're in right now. When Roman had a unified belt, they went and made, hey, welcome, thank you for the raid. We're doing Fastlane previews here on Junkie. We're on the final match of the night that I'm talking about here. We've got WWE Fastlane. When it comes to this match, I got the Judgment Day winning here. Judgment Day is absolutely the winner, in my opinion. There will be some shenanigans, I'm sure. Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. So, what we could have that would mean to Cody and Jey winning? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come in, and just to mess with the Judgment Day, they interfere, and Cody and Jey win. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen, the best option here, is to have the Judgment Day split the tag titles with the Bloodline. Squally, what's up? Thank you everyone for stopping by. We are talking about Fastlane, WWE's next premium live event that'll happen later today. I'm giving you all my predictions. We definitely got a good one coming up here tonight, ladies and gents. So when it comes to the unified tag titles, I'm really against them having these unified titles. If they want to have them unified, give them one belt. The fact that they're walking around with the Raw and SmackDown belts makes no sense. Why is there not a Raw and a SmackDown tag team champions? And I think it's time they split it up. And I think that's going to be the next move here, is to give the SmackDown tag team titles to the Bloodline. And I think that'd be great. It would give the chance for, and I said this on the Nerd Initiative page, I really want them to take the tag titles away from these main event players, because everyone in this match, besides Jey Uso, has been in a major singles title contention spot. And the only reason why Jay wasn't because they always had him with his brother Jimmy, but he is in that main event caliber right now, so these all should be people that are going after singles titles. I mean, you had Seth Rollins beat Grand Slam Finn so bad that he's now a tag team champion. He stopped going after the heavyweight championship. And then you got Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank. Like, the second they lose these tag titles, the more interesting the Judgment Day can become. And I think that's the only thing that if they lose this match, 1,000,000% there's a cash-in tonight. And if they lose the tag titles and he cashes in, he's winning. But I have them winning this match. I don't see the Judgment Day losing the tag titles. The WWE is just adamant about having consistent matches with the Judgment Day, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Some assortment of that group. They just love that. They put on fantastic matches. I understand from like a booking perspective why you'd want to do it, but they've been doing it too much. It's just way too much at this point. It's like every single main event is some assortment of this crew. Every Monday night on Raw. So I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get someone out of the Judgment Day very soon. I think Priest is gonna end up going on his own because he's not. They've always said that the Judgment Day are a group of family with no leaders. Well, last night on SmackDown, there is a damn clear leader of Judgment Day, and it's Rhea Ripley. She has a one-on-one with the Wise Man. She tells Priest to get out of the room. Like, everyone leave. Priest, I'll be fine. And then after Heyman shakes her hand, she tells everyone in the Judgment Day, get in there. Go. She's the leader of Judgment Day. Whether they want to admit it or not, Damian is not going to ride with that for much longer. Because think about it. When Dominic Mysterio lost his title, she blamed Priest for not being there to help him cheat to win. Granted, he won it right back with them all coming down there and cheating to win. But for me, I think Priest is going to be so much better. I want Damian Priest to be like this almost anti-hero. I want him to not be a babyface, but I want him to be more like MJF, kind of. And I'm not talking about how he is on the mic or in the ring. I'm just talking about the persona where MJF by far 100% is now the biggest face in AEW, but he's our scumbag. So he's still going to do heel things. And I think they can do something similar with Priest where he's a heel, but he's not a jerk. Like, to the point where he'll start to get cheers when he, like, let's say down the road, he breaks away from the Judgment Day, he becomes this anti-hero type character. Jey Uso's getting beat down by Grand Slam Finn and JD McDonough. In comes Damian Priest to save Jay, and he's like, man, Priest, man, thanks. I didn't do it for you. I just don't like those guys. And walks out. Oh my God. Instant eruption from the crowd. I guarantee it. Because Priest is no longer feared. With his size and his natural abilities, he should be feared by everyone on both rosters. And he's not. How do you do that? You break him away from this powerful group and make him take them all on, maybe not individually, but here and there, going at them. And that's what they did so well with Jey Uso. Think about it. A few months ago, people were booing Jey Uso. Anyone who wasn't a Bloodline fan was booing Jey Uso because he was taking out all the baby faces that they loved. Now when he comes out on Raw, the crowd erupts. He's an instant babyface just by switching brands and not being a douche. That's all they had to do to make Jay a main event star and make him a face of the company. Priest is the same thing. Have Priest be the guy that goes to SmackDown. Hell, man, you can even have him feud with the LWO. Have him feud with the LWO and try to take ownership of the LWO. I'm the leader of the LWO now. You know what I mean? He speaks fluent Spanish, and he's got Spanish heritage. He can be in the LWO. Think about the matches that him and Ray or him and Escobar. Oh my God, can you think of the matches that he could have on SmackDown? Think about the one-on-ones he could have with Roman Reigns. You don't have to have him beat him, but have him stand up to Roman every once in a while. Just listen, Roman, back up, man. Like you might scare everyone else in this whole division, but you don't scare me. Like that, or him and LA Knight. I mean, there's just so many possibilities because I think Priest is bogged down in this group, and he needs to be off on his own because he's that good. So don't get me wrong, I love Dominic. You know, now I used to hate him. I thought he was really annoying as this fake gangster wannabe, but I don't know. It's grown on me. And Finn Balor, always been one of my favorites. I love, like, the Demon Finn Balor. That first time I ever saw the Demon, I was like, I love this guy. You know what I mean? Like, and he's put in so much work. Grand Slam Finn, you know, great individual, team, everything. But he's at the point of his career where I think he has had his last push as the main event champion. You know, so could he go, you know, get Intercontinental or U.S. Championship? Sure. But Damian Priest can win a heavyweight championship. I mean, there, and I said this earlier in the show if you weren't here, but I definitely have, like, if you don't have Damian Priest cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight, after a last man standing match, then there's no reason to have the Money in the Bank anymore. Because what it does is it ruins the mystique of this all being real. We know it's not. We know it's scripted. But if there is no legitimate reason for a man to have a contract that will let him just interject himself anywhere, anytime, and get a title shot, if Nakamura and Shinsuke put on the banger that they're going to, and one of them can't get up, before that number hits 10, Priest should be running down to the ring and going after the one who's still standing. and that's the thing. When you start to do things for the sake of doing them just because, or not doing them, same thing. You know, Priest has to cash in tonight. There will never be a better time than after a last man standing match, because it's going to be a gruesome long match. When do you want to cash in? When the champion's tired. Whoever wins should be looking at that ramp because Damian's coming down it. And I if they don't have a cash in, I'm going to be very disappointed. I tell you what, I'm doing a live reaction special on the Nerdtooine, on the Nerd Initiative YouTube channel with the Nerd Initiative boys, the NI Wrestling Dojo crew. And I'll tell you what, if there's no cash in tonight, I'm going to be livid. I'm going to go on a rant that I'm going to have to remember I'm on the Nerd Initiative page and not on mine, because I'm going to be upset. Because and this is my problem with the Money in the Bank. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Like, or like, how about when Finn and Rollins had their match? They literally had every single member of Judgment Day there. Right after Finn loses, there's no reason that he shouldn't have cashed in right then and there. Other than they wanted to keep him with the briefcase for longer to stretch out the story. That is the only reason. And I don't like when they have that as the reason. That's just my thing. Like, because remember, this is all a performance art. We know it's not real. It's scripted. So when they do stuff like this, it takes me out of it and makes you really reminded about how little, you know, how not real it is. You know what I mean? I watch wrestling to forget that it's real, that it's not real. Like when LA Knight comes out, I don't see him as someone trying to hype up the crowd. I see him as a wrestler speaking his mind, even though it's maybe not scripted, but, you know, that whole, what he says, he knows what he's going to say when he goes out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's just saying what's on his mind. He's saying what he has to say to push the storylines forward. But LA Knight makes me forget. He just seems so genuine and real with his promos that it's like, you know what? No, I think he really doesn't like Miz. I think he really wants to fight. You know what I mean? Like it's those are the moments where wrestling goes from being great or entertainment to being legendary. And this PLE definitely has a chance to have a lot of those type of moments where we forget that it's fake and scripted if they do it right. And so far, listen, I'm not saying that like there's no chance it'll happen. I mean, they've done some really good things with storytelling lately, and I'm looking forward to seeing it and seeing what they do with it. So, and also I've heard some discourse about people like, hey, well, it's really short. There's not enough championship matches. Da-da-da-da. Well, you do realize that we got one of those matches already for free? You do realize that Ciampa and Gunther's match was supposed to be on this card as well, but they moved it to Monday Night Raw and gave it to us for free. An absolute banger, and that's where DIY came back. And that's why, another reason why I started coming up with that theory about the tag titles being broken up, because apparently Gargano has been cleared medically for a few months, but they didn't want to just bring him back for the sake of bringing him back. They brought him back to reunite with DIY. It was supposed to happen a couple months ago, but they waited. And I think it's because the tag titles are getting broken up. And I think they are going to be big players on Monday Night Raw in the tag division. They are, together, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. Period. I'm sorry. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying they're better than FTR. I'm not saying they're better than the Young Bucks or anything. But they can have a match as good as anybody else in that top tier of the tag team ranks. Ciampa is amazing. Anyone who doesn't know how good Ciampa is, go watch his NXT run. Dude was a monster in NXT, and that can come back. Or Johnny Gargano, whether he's a heel, a face, it doesn't matter. He delivers every single time. Those two guys are so committed to this business and want to be, respected so bad that they can make such a fantastic tag team championship like dynasty almost. They should be the next tag team to win, in my opinion. I love Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but they should be main event players. I'm sorry. There is no, for me to take Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who have both had championship matches against Roman Reigns, and then throw them into the tag division, I think it does a disservice to them. They're so good together, and one of my favorite things in the world is KO's rant. When he just freaks out, it's one of my favorite things ever. And I don't know if maybe that's the only way they can do that. I mean, that's up for debate. But, in my opinion, I think this is going to be a great premium live event. I thank you all for stopping by. I think, and if you missed most of this, you can catch the replay up on YouTube shortly after I do some editing. And this is where I host all of my preview specials. I do other preview specials on other, accounts with the Nerd Initiative, but this is mine. Right now my record is 4-2 on my junkie predictions. After tonight, it could look a lot worse. I could be under 500 by the end of the night with the way this card stacked up, but we will see. I thank you all for stopping by. Please give me a follow if you like comic books, wrestling, pretty much anything nerdy or something you can nerd out about. We're moving in to the physical medium here on Junkie. I'm leading the comic community. We're about to have a big splash coming up here in the next few weeks or months, depending how big we get it. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. But we're also, start going into physical card breaks, MLB, NFL, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Junkie's about to be the place. There's going to be podcasts as very much like this. Me and John from NK's Comics are going to host a podcast where we bring on creators, whether it be writers, artists, cosplayers, hell, wrestlers, and we're going to call it The Forge. because everywhere all these things are created, they come from us and we make them. So we hammer out all the details into a crisp idea, the Forge. And then we're also, me and another content creator, Year of the Collector, are going to do, we haven't decided the name yet, but it's going to be kind of like a talk show where I'm going to be a character. I'm going to play like the king, and I'm going to be, basically, it's going to be, think about it like this, how I'm pitching it. Picture Jerry the King Lawler as me, picture Year as JR, and we're talking about comic practices. So, like, one of the first episodes is going to be about shipping. So, I'm going to play the guy that's going to be like, listen, you want to have your profit margins as high as possible. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take your comic book, you're not going to wrap it in anything, throw it right in a standard mailer, and just ship it out. It'll be fine. Don't worry. And he's going to be like, that's absolutely incorrect. No, you have to do it like this. And, and I'm going to try to make it almost like a parody show where real information is given. And I think that could be very interesting. We've got a lot more stuff like that working. Junkie's about to be the place to be. And I'm glad that you're here now, and I hope you spread the word. And, you'll be one of the first ones to say I was there first. But for now, this is Nerdtooine signing off. Make sure you give me a follow. Make sure you like, share, comment, do all the great things that we need for the algorithms. And if you need me ever, I'm very reachable. All of my social medias, I am just Nerdtooine right here. The only one that's different is my podcast, which is Nerdtooine and a movie podcast, which is available on Spotify and YouTube, as well as many other podcast sites. Until next time, this is Nerdtooine signing off. Stay nerdy, my friends. Until next time, wrestle fans. 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding.